Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a first impressions and review of these Uni Posca pens, or Uni Posca markers, however you like to say it. I had seen these around, especially Instagram and Twitter recently, and the way that certain artists I follow use them made me really curious, and I've been really jonesing to try out some opaque mediums like acrylics, but I keep putting it off. I keep saying no, wait, because it's like a lot of stuff. But these are really small and they're easy to buy, and I thought I'd give them a try. I had heard that they have liquid acrylic ink inside them, and for some reason when I was shopping, I thought it might be best to try them out on acrylic paper. I'm not sure if that was the best idea after all, but at the time it seemed like a good idea, since I also heard that they like to eat their paper a lot, so I thought maybe the acrylic paper can hold up to it better than a regular paper can. So I'm trying them out on the acrylic paper as well as the Canson XL Mixed Media Sketchbook in the smaller size, just to see which paper works better for them. There were two different sizes in my local art shop when I went to pick them out, and I wasn't sure which one to go with, so I ended up picking mostly the 3M size for most of the pens, but the yellow was sold out in the 3M size, so I picked up the 5M size, which in retrospect I'm really happy that happened, because it's really nice to be able to experience both sizes and see which one is definitely the best for me. Since these are paint pens, you have to prime them before you actually use them, and it takes a really long time. Just to be clear, I did edit this part so it wasn't boring for you guys, but I think it probably took about 30 seconds to a minute to prime each pen to get the ink, the liquid, the paint, I don't know what to call it, flowing through the nib, but you only have to do that the first time. And I found that they flew. I found that they flowed really well after that. I never really had to press again to get it to go, so that's pretty impressive actually. The colors I picked out were just kind of random. They did not have any sets in my local art store, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping to get a set so it would be easy to just pick up and go, but they had all open stock, so I had a huge dilemma because there were so many colors and I wanted to try them all, but I also wasn't sure if I would like these, so I just picked out a few. I mainly went with Halloween colors and some prime colors. I went with the light pink, yellow, and sky blue for kind of the prime colors, you know, just so I had a good variety. And the other colors I picked out were because of Halloween. I wanted to do a Halloween drawing with these, and I thought that'd be fun. I thought it'd be a nice direction to go with this speed paint for sure. So the Halloween colors that I picked out are the dark red, the violet, the green, and the orange. And I also had a white, which I had previously. I didn't buy for this video, so you'll see that pop up in this video as well. So after I did the swatches, I just did a bunch of Halloween doodles just to see how these markers are and how I feel about them and how I can get them to work. I definitely had trouble with blending. I'm not sure how these work. I've never really seen them in action. I've only seen what people have done with them, and I tried my best to kind of blend the way I'm used to, you know, adding a color and then kind of buffing it out, and it was not working. It was not working at all. It got pretty frustrating pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure now that I look back, all of the drawings that I've seen before tend to use flat colors with these, so I'm not sure if it's possible, but I'm sure somebody out there can make it happen, just not me, apparently. So when I tried out the acrylic paper, I was surprised to see that it did not help at all with the paper eating thing, where the marker kind of eats at the paper and then there's debris stuck to the nib, and it's really annoying. You have to try to rub it off. Also, by the way, when you try to blend, the color gets on the extra nib of the other color, if you know what I mean, and you have to kind of wipe that off too, and it's not as easy to wipe off, so really annoying. Beware if you try that. So yeah, the rougher paper definitely did not help, so I went back to my Canson XL for the drawing in general and did a couple more doodles while I was at it. Another thing I noticed right away with these pens, which was a little disappointing, was that the 3M size was very scratchy. It has a really nice fine tip, which is great for getting around small details, but laying down larger areas of color is a little bit of a nightmare. It's really scratchy, and like I said, the flow of these pens is really good compared to paint pens I've tried in the far distant past. But because of that, they don't have this, the one function I remember from before where you kind of press and hold and a bunch of ink will flop out, so it's easier to flood an area. I tried to do that a few times and these pens were like, nope. So something to keep in mind. You might want to pick up multiple sizes of different colors if you have the budget for it and like if the store carries them, because the 5M is really chunky and can't get those fine details around small areas, but it floods the paper so much better and the ink looks so much better, or paint, I'm not sure what to call it, on the paper. It looks a lot nicer, the yellow, compared to the other colors, which look kind of scratchy and you have to go over the area twice for sure. Another thing I noticed was that it looks so much better when I just start doodling without any lines with these pens. Trying to go over the lines is a bit annoying because it is an opaque medium, so it covers up the lines. And later when I try to go back in to kind of put the lines back in, I noticed that my Copic multiliner was not holding up to this paint. It is dry, but the Copic multiliner kept starting to skip. I think the paint was getting up on the nib and I was worried it would destroy it, so I ended up switching to my brush pen, which was not the best idea because I'm not very familiar with brush pens. It goes on really well over top the Posca pen, but I'm not good at it, so it ended up making my drawing look pretty bad. That's for sure. And that's kind of where I think I went wrong the most with this drawing. I started to do a speed paint and I was not in the best artistic mood that day. A little bit of art block going on, not sure what to draw, making lots of mistakes, that kind of art block, if you know what I mean. And I ended up lining it at the end with my brush pen and making a lot of really thick lines. You know, one thing I've discovered recently for sure is I really don't like the thick line thing. I really like my lines to be thin, otherwise I feel like it doesn't go too well. So I definitely feel like I went wrong there, but otherwise I think the drawing's okay. But the feel that I had when I was actually coloring it makes me want to mark this as a fail, because I was not inspired to keep going with these pens. I was not feeling it. I was not enjoying it. It was not fun, to be honest. Very hard to get smooth color. I'm not sure if you can see it too well in the video, but even when I did like kind of lay down the color, when I went over one or two spots while it was still wet, I got like grids in the paint and it was getting really frustrating. I kept doing my best to try to do some blending and like combining colors. Since I did have limited colors, I wanted to try to combine colors to make the drawing not look so flat, not look like so here's a color, and like you don't know where the bottom of the hat is and the top of the hat is, kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely feel like I was very frustrated, and the end with the the brush pen was not the best either. So would I recommend these pens? I think they're actually really kind of fun to have. Even though I didn't enjoy doing this drawing, I did enjoy doing the little doodles, and I do feel like it's really nice to have these type of things on hand in your art supply kit. If you ever want to draw on glass, I bet these would be really useful, or like on dry, I'm not sure if they would dry permanently on dry boards, but you know what I mean. They'd be great for like little decorations, and they'd probably be really great for like saving an illustration by like going over a small area that you need to fix, or adding little pops into an illustration. But maybe they're not the best for coloring an illustration fully with just these markers, if you know what I mean. And they're pretty inexpensive, so it's actually not a big deal to have a couple in your arsenal for sure. I'm not quite sure how much they are where you live, but I definitely think there's something you could pick up if you're interested and you kind of want to have this on hand. A crafter would probably really love these as well. Another big mistake in this drawing was doing that big blue thing in the background. It's because I had messed up on her wand. When I drew in her wand, I realized that is not where the other part of the stick would come out. Again, in a little bit of art block when I drew that. So I had to fill up the background a little bit, and then I decided, oh, I'll put an even bigger circle with the blue, and then it was bad because it was so hard to fill up that much of an area with the 3M size that I got frustrated, and I started to use my finger to smear the paint while it was still wet to just cover the area. And at first I was thinking I was going to fill the whole page with the blue, but then no, not the best, guys, not the best. But after I did this, I played around with my sketchbook again. I got 2 other drawings that I did with Posca pens that went so much better. They look so much nicer. That will be coming up, so definitely stay tuned for that. So yeah, my final conclusion is the Posca pens are definitely worth a buy if you want something that's fun and crafty and just for pops of color, but definitely not the best full finish illustration single medium type drawing thing ever, if that makes any sense. But they are fun, so definitely check them out. And by the way, this video is not sponsored. I just bought these and I wanted to play around and wanted to share what I found out with you guys. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below to let me know, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out on Patreon, Instagram, Facebook. All those links are in the description below, so definitely check it out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!